Left-wing activists have different ideas for life, but this time, instead of sticking to busy streets or tying themselves to factory chimneys, they decided to sail a civilian ship into dangerous waters, straight into the war zone in the Middle East. Sailing into closed zones, into maritime areas that are subject to military operations in civilian vessels, ships, or yachts is not a good idea. On the contrary, it is probably the least wise idea possible. So the action we witnessed, in my opinion, was pure provocation. Before the Madeleine yacht, belonging to the Freedom Flotilla coalition group under the Palestinian flag, entered Israeli-controlled waters, it received a clear warning.
The maritime zone of the coast of Gaza is close to naval traffic.
But the crew, with left-wing activist Greta Thunberg on board, nevertheless set course for the Gaza Strip, wanting to reach the residents of Gaza and draw attention to the humanitarian crisis there. In the end, instead of providing aid to those in need, the activists themselves called for help when the Israeli army boarded the yacht.
My name is Greta Thunberg and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
But don't worry, Israeli authorities assure us that Greta is safe. The same goes for the other politicians and celebrities on board. Among them is Irish actor Liam Cunningham, known for his role as Davos Seaworth in Game of Thrones.
She's a mother of demons!
As well as the French MEP of Palestinian origin, Rima Hassan. All the passengers of the selfie yacht are safe and unharmed. They were provided with sandwiches and water. The show is over. Not quite. The activists still have a movie screening ahead of them. Already in the Israeli port, they will see how Palestinian terrorists invaded Israeli territory, how they kidnapped and killed innocent people, and the conditions in which they are still holding hostages today. There were 6 French citizens on board. We warned them about the possible consequences of what they were planning to do. We are now in contact with the Israeli authorities so that everyone can return home safely. Greta Thunberg and other left-wing activists set off on a beautiful cruise from the Italian port of Catania in Sicily at the beginning of June. She wanted to cross the Mediterranean Sea to reach the war-torn Gaza Strip to save the world, or at least change it for the better. This was not the first time.
We are against.
For years, Greta has been trying to convince world leaders that the planet is burning and that more and more pseudo-ecological measures, such as the Green Deal, are needed to save the environment. She started her political career, so to speak, as a teenager, so it's easy to imagine that she was a child, manipulated by others. She thinks she is simply almighty. This is a new community that makes a lot of noise. I'm talking about leftists, who have always practiced lawlessness under the guise of the law. The activists did not help the residents of the Gaza Strip, which was to be expected from the beginning, but they achieved another important goal for them. They have put themselves in the spotlight once again.